Welcome, everyone. My name is Sarah Miller, and I am Senior Advisor with the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta and the Center for Workforce and Economic Opportunity. I'm happy to be joined today by Paul Freedman. Paul is the president of the Learning Marketplace at Guild Education. Paul is a longtime advocate for the transformational power of college education. He has founded, managed, and invested in a number of successful education ventures. Paul, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much for having me.
As you know, the Talent Finance Initiative recognizes that the new economy requires us to transform how we think about our talent development systems, how we think about them, and how we finance them through encouraging public-private collaboration, promoting shared value and risk, and advancing inclusive innovations and expanding choice, which promote equity. I'm curious to get your point of view on this and what trends you think have served as evidence that we need a new social contract when it comes to talent development.
At Guilds, we just believe that the emergence of whatever you want to call it, a knowledge economy, a new economy, just requires a different way of thinking about skills and talent development, and really does require sort of all constituents having a seat at the table. What Guild's business model is about is working with large corporations, Fortune 500 corporations, and administering their investment in their workforce development and their talent. And what we've seen is that there's just a huge return on that investment. And so there's actually a business aligned strategy to invest in talent. But there's also areas where government investment for people who are Pell eligible, for veterans, where that investment can make sense as well. And so we're very aligned with an idea that in a new economy, there needs to be significantly more investment in talent. And that's a situation where all constituents that have an invested interest, the government, employers, and the people themselves should be part of the conversation.
Some would argue that these new challenges that the new economy presents requires more of a robust public role. But we adamantly advocate that we need to make the case for the public-private approach, and that the solution lies in much greater alignment of investment and new tools of action to incent more private investment, both in terms of new training as well as to manage the new risks that will come from these investments. What are your thoughts?
I think that's right. And I think private investment will come where there's a demonstration that there's a return on investment. And I think one of the things that's happened that we've seen of late is that talent development has moved from something that you provide as part of a job description, but you hope that somebody doesn't take up, to something where the smarter employers are recognizing that there's actually a meaningful return on investment. I mean, if you invest in your talent, employees stay longer. If you invest in their talent, you're not investing as much in recruiting new people to fill the roles of the future. Just given the half-life of skills in a modern economy, you can no longer kind of recruit yourself out of a training and development problem. And I think once more employers recognize that, there is less of a need for public investment to make sure that the level of education that society needs happens.
So one of the goals of this initiative is really to build a movement of the ready and the willing, who will do widespread demonstrations of new public-private finance solutions. What do you hope to see out of this movement, and beyond some of the ways that you've already talked about how Guild's position fits in here? How might this transformation generate more demand for services like the ones that Guild offers?
Well, we want to see education investment by employers, leveraging the existing, public financing options. We want to see this be ubiquitous. We think that right now, employers are getting a competitive advantage in the job market by offering, education benefits. They're able to recruit better. They're able to retain better. Their businesses work better. But at some point in time, we hope this is ubiquitous, because once it becomes ubiquitous, then we're talking about a benefit for, American society at large, our competitiveness globally, not just, individual competitive advantages of one company versus another. Where Guild's focus is really the larger employers. We work with Fortune 500 companies. We work with employers over 10,000 or more. I think where we would like to see the activity happening, where we would be a supporter but not a driver, but would help everybody's interest, is the same type of activities that a Walmart is doing with 2.5 million employees, that small businesses, that mid-sized businesses have the same capability of doing that themselves. And that's not where Guild plays, because our technology works with the largest employer systems and is built on expecting enterprise scale. But it's certainly where we would support as part of a movement. Maybe work with other organizations who could leverage our technology to work with smaller businesses, with mid-sized businesses, because we do think that not everybody works with a Fortune 500 company. Most people work with a much smaller business, and so you're talking about something that we hope really has an effect on American at large. We need more than just Guild to be driving force, and we really believe in it, and we'd be here to help make it happen however we can.
Paul, thank you so much for your time and your leadership, and I look forward to what's next to come.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Really wonderful questions, and big believer in the initiative, and we're here to help in any way we can.